The arena buzzed with a strange kind of electricity. Not just the kind that hums through the cables of 1,000 spotlights overhead, but the tension born from two legends sharing the same ring, each forged in completely different fires. On one side, the mountain of muscle and intensity known as Mr. T. On the other, Cynthia Khan, the agile, graceful storm from the east. The crowd didn't know what to expect. It was a clash of eras, of styles, of philosophies. But what they got was something unforgettable. Mr. T came in like a wrecking ball, figuratively and nearly literally. His reputation preceded him, the powerhouse from the golden age of action, a former bouncer who turned brute strength and charisma into cinematic dominance. He didn't just walk into the ring, he marched, each step a statement. His strength? Raw power. Every punch carried the weight of concrete blocks. If you stood still long enough in front of him, he'd knock your past out of your future. But Mr. T's greatest strength was also his most glaring weakness. Speed and precision were not his allies. His movements were broad and heavy, telegraphed, and for a trained eye like Cynthia Khan's, readable. Khan didn't make an entrance, she glided in. Dressed simply, almost serenely, she contrasted Mr. T's explosive presence like a blade of bamboo before a thunderstorm. But anyone mistaking her calm for fragility was in for a rude awakening. Cynthia Khan's fighting style, honed through decades of martial arts and film choreography, was built on precision and timing. Her background in Taekwondo and Wushu gave her the speed of a cobra and the elegance of a dancer. Her strikes were surgical, her footwork a lesson in physics. What she lacked in brute force, she compensated with discipline and relentless energy. She didn't overpower, she outmaneuvered. The fight kicked off with a clash of intentions. Mr. T, true to form, came charging, fists swinging in wide arcs like wrecking cranes. The audience gasped, Cynthia ducked, sidestepped, weaved. She barely touched the mat, her feet dancing between attacks, testing the limits of Mr. T's endurance. When she struck, it was like lightning, quick, sharp, and sudden. Elbows to the ribs, a knee to the midsection, a spinning kick that nearly clipped Mr. T's jaw. Still, he absorbed it all like a tank. Even when he missed, the air cracked with the sheer force behind his swings. Midway through the match, fatigue began to show. Mr. T's breath grew louder. His punches came slower. That's when Cynthia shifted gears. She began moving in closer, exploiting the space between his hulking limbs, striking with pinpoint accuracy. A palm strike to the solar plexus. A sweep that sent him stumbling. But he never stayed down. The man had heart, ironclad, indomitable. Still, heart alone couldn't stop the tide. In the final moments, Cynthia delivered a breathtaking aerial kick that sent Mr. T staggering. As he hit the mat, the silence was deafening. Not out of disrespect, but awe. Cynthia Khan stood above him, panting but calm. The storm had passed and grace had prevailed. She had won, not because she was stronger, but because she was smarter, faster, more precise. It wasn't about brute force. It was about control, adaptability, and using your opponent's strengths against them. In the end, the fight wasn't just a battle of fists, it was a lesson in strategy. And Cynthia Khan, ever the tactician, taught it flawlessly.